Okay, so today we're going to be looking at I unsuccessfully played Arknights. I feel that because I unsuccessfully play Arknights every day. You guys, the people in the last stream, it was horrible. But anyway, other than that, let's get to the video.
If there's one gacha game that's often regarded as one of the best by the majority of the community, and one that I have not played yet despite being one of the most requested to this day, then I probably don't need any introductions to this tower defense style gacha that pretty much everyone watching this video has already played. Now in the upper echelon of the genre, and possibly even reaching mainstream levels of popularity, I figured the global 5.5 anniversary was as good of a time to get started than ever.
I should have
So
started
finally,
during then.
today is the day. My name is Psyche, and as someone that typically doesn't play tower defense games, I tried out Arknights for around a month. While this is not a formal long review, I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the overall game, such as the gacha, story, gameplay, and so on, and giving my opinions on the good aspects of—
See, so far, the main thing I haven't really looked into is the story gameplay because that is the last thing that I even looked at. I'll be honest.
the game and parts that are not so good. After 30 days, I finally have a
so
taste
good?
of what everyone has been talking about, and so people stop bothering me about this. So let's get started. Did you
Hey,
know
yeah,
that
that
to
same
this
dude.
day, the global release of Arknights does not have an official PC port yet? While I enjoyed a good
I know. Makes no sense to me why they don't have one yet. Like, please, come on, Arknights, please. Like, I don't want to use Google all day. Oh, stop.
chunk of
Anyway.
it on my tablet, there's nothing quite like experiencing it on the big screen. I recorded a lot of the footage for this video using the Mumu Player emulator.
Oh, he used
Mumu Player
Okay.
5.0 is a free Android emulator, and is one of the few, if not the only one, that does not contain any ads. It is a lightweight and highly modular—
Okay, I have noticed that. Like, BlueStacks, hella ads. LX Player or whatever, hella ads. Like, that's why I don't. I never really use LD Player. So
system
yeah,
that
it's LD
provides
Player, I
many
think.
built-in and custom features, such as key binding and various performance modes. You can set the amount of processing power it draws, and the resolution
gosh,
can
this
be
actually
scaled
seemed
up to
pretty good.
1440p. I
This
know that
ad is actually
emulators can be
working.
a little hit or miss for some people, but I found
Yeah.
Mumu Player to be the most stable among the ones I've used so far, not to mention providing the best performance.
See, for me, BlueStacks just lags so much, bro. For me, like that joint takes forever to load up into a game. Then once it load up to a game, the game doesn't even look that good. And it's like why I look like I'm playing at a 1012p when I'm trying to play at 1080p? Well, not 1012. Hold on, it's higher. Like 480.
A good chunk of footage for this video was recorded using the emulator, and there was not a single time during the month I played where I experienced bugs or lag spikes. To speak from personal experience, back when I was reviewing Love and Deep Space, Mumu Player was the only emulator that ran the game at an acceptable frame rate. Nothing else quite came close for me. To try out Mumu Player 5.0 and start
We're just gonna wash through this whole ad.
your ad-free
It's
gaming
alright.
experience, be sure to use my affiliate link in the description or pinned comment to download it for free today. Thank you to Mumu Player for sponsoring the video, and now, let's get back to it. So
Mumu.
before going into Arknights, I had a number of pre-existing biases.
Oh, he has the Tiger Girl, so that's how she looks in game.
For
Okay.
one, I heard mixed things about its story. Some people say it's the peak of humanity, and some thought it was a little inconsistent.
See, I haven't watched the story, but so I can't really like compare it. But right now, for me, the peak story in a gacha game is Nikkei, bro. For me.
To my understanding, the writing can be absolutely amazing in many areas, but not all of them. There was even a case where one of the writers in Larian's studio, the developers for Baldur's Gate, praising the writing in Arknights.
Really?
I
What the
know there's
heck?
like a library's worth of content to go through, however, unfortunately, Arknights also falls into the unexplainable phenomenon where the story only picks up quite a decent way from the beginning, and this is something I like to call early gacha story syndrome. From what I understood, the story will slightly pick up in Chapter 5, and Chapter 6 is considered a landmark point in its narratives. So I just kind of read summaries for Chapters 1 to 4. Now, given that the game is one of the biggest gacha games of all time, there's a few reasons I never bothered checking it out until now, despite me memeing on this topic a few times in the past.
I'll be honest, me personally, the only reason why I didn't check it out was literally because I was like, oh, a tower defense game? What the hell? Oh, TV characters? Oh, I'm straight. I didn't realize how good it was.
Thank God, Arknights Enfield is not a tower defense. The main reason I never played Arknights before is that I just don't really like tower defense gameplay. It's as
It's same for me. But lately, I've been getting really into it.
simple as that. The only TD game I was a serious fan of was Plants vs. Zombies.
I have never played Plants vs. Zombies. Not one day in my life I ever played this game. I'll be honest with you.
I've heard a lot of recommendations on the game, mainly due to how there's no RNG relic system, dupes are stat-based with a high skill ceiling and gameplay, so I thought, might as well. The game is developed by Hypergriff and launched in 2019, and I heard the lead of the game back then formerly worked for Mika team on Girls Frontline. I mean,
Really?
yeah, the art style checks out. Regarding the gameplay, most tower defense games were those
I never played the first Girls Frontline though too, so that also could be why.
With turn-based or real-time strategy may not look too flashy on the surface. You can't really wow someone that has never played before, unlike something such as a 3D brawler. It's only when you understand what's happening that will make you go, holy shit, that's an insane play. This video assumes that most people watching have played or are playing Arknights themselves. As such, I will not be going over the fundamentals of its gameplay. This is not a formal long review of Arknights, and I don't think one is ever coming out, just due to the sheer amount of content you have to go through and the expectations on how much coverage you are supposed to provide given the size of the player base. Just think of this as a first impressions video, even though I did play it for around a month. I went into the game with a set goal in mind, and that's sort of the bar that was agreed upon by myself and others' suggestions. I will play up until Chapter 6. Use any tools at my disposal, use any cheese methods I can find, but I will not look up any guides or tutorials for specific levels. As a
I have not done that yet. I came close. I came close one day, but I haven't done it yet. We still strong. We still haven't actually looked up the tutorial for like how do you beat stage 5, 6 or something like that. I probably will, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
On tower defense enthusiast, this is how I was gonna sort of challenge myself and see how far I can get. Well, that was the original plan at least. This part of the commentary was recorded a few days before release. Turns out tower defense burnout took place sooner for me. I know I can start working towards Elite 2s, except I just kinda lost the motivation. I beat Chapter 6 with supports. I will be reading it online though. The critiques in this video is from someone that has played the game for only a month, that didn't really interact with the late game content, and the one that busted through the story campaign with supports. I mean, you saw the title of this video. Take it or leave it. I basically ran with a single team lineup with some small variations, but I don't know anything about strategic placements, which skill to use and at what time. However, I did experience a bunch of eureka moments where I just had to readjust my strategy a little bit to beat the level. Oh, I just had to spam more healers, why didn't I think of that? One of the biggest praise I can give is that the classes actually feel distinct, like they're expected to function differently and are more suited at some levels or when deployed at certain times. Like how the Vanguard units are cheap and can generate deployment points, perfect as the frontrunners in a level. I feel as if it's precisely because Arknights is a tower defense that these different characters can shine. I know the game will have consequences of power creep given that it's been live for more than 5 years, and something that was brought to my attention is that certain older units can still fulfill a certain niche effect, so when that niche is particularly useful, they can still be brought out to assist. It felt like the game encouraged you to build wide instead of tall. Given that upgrades can get exponentially more expensive, you can spare the same resources to raise another operator, as I found what they do is way more important than raw stats. Of course, you do get a lot of benefits from upgrading and ascending operatives, but just like Reverse 1999, you typically don't need to max out everything unless you're a nuthead for min-maxing. Arknights is a gacha where the highest rarity is 6 stars, with the most of the lower rarities being fodder, but they are quite usable in the early game. Not only do they get less stats from less ascensions, their skills are also fairly basic. Of course, I've seen some crazy people do challenge runs with them too. Definitely not me though. I know of a better strategy. It's called overleveling. Another selling point of Arknights is that there's no weapon gacha banner type, you just pull for characters. Since the game released in 2019, it also managed to avoid the Genshitification of gacha games, meaning that there is no RNG relics, and the dupe system only gives stat upgrades. Granted, I've talked about gearing systems in detail in a previous video, but whether or not you prefer an RNG gearing system is completely preferential. I can say this, the amount of grind and time
I'm gonna be honest right now, guys. I hate RNG gear systems mainly because of one particular reason. Because they're garbage, they're trash, and they expect you to do all this. I'm like, oh, bro, I don't want to, bro. Why? Like, why do you want me to sit here and like play your game for 80 hours just to get one relic, one good relic? Like, no, bro, no.
You will have to spend to max out one operative should be roughly around the same as getting a full set of viable artifacts in Genshin. Gacha games are in
so 18 years because like. Well, he said viable. He didn't say good.
Nature live service and will need to take up a certain amount of time before you can say that you have completed a character build. The process to get there is up to you to decide which way you prefer, so
Wait. That last one was that Hong Kong?
So I'll just say that I don't think it makes sense to say that objectively speaking, having a vertical grind instead of RNG relics is better. They're gonna claw back the time you would have spent to grind artifacts some other way.
Yeah.
I experienced this quite a lot starting from chapter 5 and 6. I was made aware that I'm holding some good units. The problem is that some of them require Elite 2 to unlock their full potential.
Yep, I was told the same thing. Like Thorn. I got Thorn 2, Elite 2, baby. One day we get there.
Basically their second ascension. The materials grind in this game is pretty brutal, as I found out a bit later, especially for new players. I will give praise to the dupe system though. I do prefer a stat-based system rather than having full passives unlocked. It feels more fair, and it feels like you have access to the operator's full kit when you get them with one copy. Now, of course, when you get to late game
That's something Genshin doesn't do anymore, guys.
challenge content, I'm just saying, you know, that reduction in deployment costs can definitely matter a little bit. Now, I went into the game and made this video without looking up any guides or walkthroughs. The hints I was given are who were good units and which skills to prioritize leveling, but I didn't know why they were good. For example, I was recommended to raise Myrtle as a 4-star. I played her for the first time and I realized, yeah, she's pretty good. I kinda wanted to see just how far a non-tower defense enjoyer like myself can get without any external help. Arknights is one of those gachas where the story content actually poses somewhat of a challenge. So I originally thought I was gonna have some trouble. I got through chapter 5 and most of chapter 6 fine, but I definitely felt moments where I struggled a little bit or had to restart to see what the level gimmick is all about. There's a surprise.
Bro, the amount of times I restarted in this game is crazy. Like, I'm still new, and I think I restarted more than I restarted in freaking. I had to redo a boss in Elden Ring. I'll be honest, but it's because like I do messing up the most dumbest ways, bro. I swear.
Surprising amount of skill expression, as is complemented by the distinct classes, and how the level progresses can impact how you play.
I was on this. I just completed this this mode right here. I ain't gonna lie, the way I did it was I had I think a healer was right there, and the rest was like mages or rangers. I had thorns somewhere over here, and I just like blocked every part off and just chokehold the hell out of them right there.
Even the farming stages actually pose challenges with their own unique twists.
Yes,
While
they
you
really
can
do.
clear the stage with a friend's support and still get 3 stars, you just don't unlock auto farming for that stage. I thought this was an ingenious way to nudge you to clear it based on what you had. I can't believe they copied this mechanic from Path to Nowhere. If you do unlock
joke.
auto farming, the game will lock in your previous loadout you used to beat it, then run back the same steps you took in the successful attempt. You can take over, and to my understanding, it actually runs a simulation of the level, and not a simple playback, meaning that for some reason, if there's enough deviation, you can actually fail. It's the same thing as games like Epic 7 or Etheria Restart. One quality of life that might be possible is to let the game farm for you in the background while you do other things. Plus, if you ever fail an auto battle attempt, it just halts your entire session. Whereas in other games with this system just lets you continue but will mark it as a failed attempt. Aside from some specialized sweep tickets,
definitely Epic 7, by the way. We have sweep tickets, excuse me?
There's no full sweep feature in this game, so you will have to let the game play back those farming stages by itself to spend stamina. I can't believe they copied this mechanic from Reverse 1999.
I just wish that the only thing I wish that it would do instead of like the way that it is that they add it so that you can do other stuff while it grinds for you. Kind of like a third restart where like you can minimize that and go do another thing while that's grinding for you, and like they are doing their little thing while they grinding and you doing your own thing in the game. Like I wish they do that.
Resource farming stages are locked to certain days of the week. Why? Why is this a thing? Oh boy, it's time to wait until.
So this way Genshin got it. Because Genshin has this trust and believe. That's the only thing I don't like about. I just don't like when games do that. Because like now I gotta sign it on this particular day. I gotta remember to sign it on this particular day. To unlock this particular thing, do this particular mode. But then it's like if I miss that, then 9 times out of 10 they always like a day after. Like it goes like, let's say it opens on Monday, it'll open up on Wednesday. So now I gotta wait till a day, like 24 hours to figure out. Okay, now I gotta wait for this one to open
until Wednesday so I can farm those space upgrading materials. This is gonna be so much fun. Just make all the stages available at all times. This literally serves no purpose except to create artificial barriers.
Yes.
Just stop. The base management mode was also a doozy.
Oh my gosh, this base looks better than mine. Oh my gosh, what?
To figure out. I'm sure there's ways to optimize the output of resource generation, except with a limited roster I had, I've kind of found it to be a chore. Granted, there's plenty of quality of life features in place, such as team presets, quick swap, and one-click collect all buttons. Well, at least this is where you can put your low-rarity units to work by shoving them in your sweatshop. I took a brief peek at some events and late game modes, though I'm pretty sure I've seen nowhere near enough to get an educated opinion on it. I beat some levels and tried to grind for some event currency, except when I tried to auto-farm it the next day, every attempt failed, and I'm not quite sure why, even though it worked perfectly fine the day before, so I just kinda gave up on the event this time around. I know with typical gacha games, you want to farm the event stages as it gives more value if you trade it in the respective shop. Generally, I find with older era gachas, you're not going to be able to clear out events efficiently as a beginner, so I was perfectly fine with letting this one go. Moving on to the gacha system, I've heard many things here as well. I'm aware that most of the operators enter
I got shafted on this goddamn system, bro.
the standard pool after a certain amount of time has passed, and that older operators do get buffed in some way in order to counterbalance power creep. There's a recruitment feature where you can use these vouchers to obtain a random operator of your specified requirements, basically like doll construction from GFL. I played the game for around a month, and I gotta say, I have not seen a single 5-star come out of this, so imagine it's just there to create more fodder.
Okay, so he's just like me, where like he plays the game on mute until he gets to the summoning, and then when he summons, he turns it back on, and then when he's done summoning, he turns it back off.
For the rate up banners, the base SSR drop chance is 2%.
You gotta hit on
pretty
voice
average
lines, bro.
if you ask me. The rate up chance is the classic 50% coin flip.
Sadly.
The soft pity for any SSR is 50 pulls, so I'll assume a guarantee at 70. But the absolute hard pity for the rate up SSR is 150 pulls, meaning that it's possible to lose the coin flip twice. Since the number of tokens per pull is a whopping 600, which is the highest I've seen in a gacha game so far, I have to calculate the worst case scenario.
I'm trying to think. No, yeah, it's true. Yeah, he's right.
To guarantee a rate up SSR of your choice is 150 pulls, as the game displays. Meaning you'll need 90,000 Arundum. Quite a steep cost. Here's my personal observation from someone that has started during the 5.5 anniversary. I did quite like the Annie celebrations where I got a free 6-star selector and a healthy dose of gacha pulls. However, if you ask me if the game is generous with pulls in its normal state, my answer is actually gonna be a no. I think the gacha is just average, and I think that's fine. The pull income can get you a decent amount of spins on the slot machine, but consider that there's only a hard pity at 150 pulls, it doesn't matter how many SSRs you get before that. Even if you land 10 6-star operatives, you can still lose the coin flip all of those 10 times. The 150 mark is what ultimately matters. I bought a round of the 30-day supply and it only gave me 6,000 tokens, which is only enough for a 10 pull. Considering that you need a ceiling of 150 pulls to get a rate up SSR, that's really not a lot. Plus, the event shop only gave 3 pull tickets. However, I do think that it's acceptable the gacha is designed this way, as there's no separate gear or weapon banner type in the game. Once again, just because a gacha doesn't have a weapon banner, it doesn't make it objectively better. It's going to claw back the resources you would have spent on some weapon banner pulls some other way, and this gacha system is one way to do it. On the other hand, I will give praise for its very generous income for skins and premium currency. It's the only gacha game I've seen where you can actually earn the paid currency in-game by 3-starring levels. Imagine that you can obtain Genesis crystals in Genshin. So if you're a fan of collecting cosmetics, Arknights will give you a lot of freedom there. It's realistically possible to collect the majority of cosmetic items in the game without paying. This includes some earnable ones in the event shop. The presentation, I feel, is gonna be a bit hit or miss for the general modern gacha audience. There's no voice acting nor live 2D.
That's the thing. Like, I don't care about the live 2D, but if it ain't no voice acting, I can't watch the story.
Animations. You can praise the quality of writing, and it's the style that I prefer too, considering that it spent a decent chunk of my college days reading visual novels. I'm saying that as the general mobile gaming audience, especially in 2025, you're expecting more effort put into the presentation of the story, whether that may be carefully choreographed scenes, quality voice acting, or flashy visuals. How many people will be okay with looking at static sprites for hours on end, especially
Not a lot. I'm gonna be honest right now, not a lot.
especially if they're not sure if there's actually a payoff to the story they're reading. I will get invested into Arknights lore at some point, I just don't know if that's gonna be in the game, or I'll just read it online or something.
Reading it online. You know, we're looking up them lore videos, boys.
This is the part where I throw the most amount of critiques and why ultimately some of these are going to be deal breakers for me. Now, even if Arknights is a
Let's get to it.
perfect game, I still most likely wouldn't have stuck around, as tower defense is just one of those genres I don't find interesting to play. This is
Yes, see, I'm into it now. So.
my own preference and a me problem. There are absolutely parts of my gameplay or strategy that can be improved, except I just don't have the motivation to learn them. The closest game I can compare Arknights to is Reverse 1999. Also no RNG relics, an Ascension-based leveling system, where your level resets back to 1, SSRs entering the standard pool after a certain amount of time has passed, the same auto-farming feature, and even character dubs where they speak in native accents. Although, I do have to give a quick shout out to Arknights for letting you switch the language per operator. That's a cool detail.
What the heck?
During the end of the month I played Arknights, I remember that Reverse 1999 was having a collab with Assassin's Creed, so I re-downloaded it to compare its features. I soon realized that I just prefer a lot of the mechanics more in Reverse 1999. First up is the auto farm. In Arknights, you have to run back each level for every instance of stamina spent. If you ran 6 times worth of stamina, then the level has to be replayed 6 times.
Which I think, like, that's the old system. That's how old systems used to be. Like, I think they really need to update to the new system where it's just you auto and you go do something else in the game. Because, like, if you do this, you're just sitting there at this point. You're just sitting there looking. Not saying you're gonna go play a different game though, but like, yeah.
This is not to mention that for whatever reason, the attempt can fail if there's enough deviation. You cannot let it farm in the background while you do something else, like in Epic 7.
Like, oh my gosh, I loved when Epic 7 added it, bro. Like, when it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you can farm, but you can farm in the back end now. Instant downloaded the game again. Instant downloaded the game. Never left. Epic 7 will always be one of my most favorite games. It's the anime game. It's one of the OGs. I mean, you heard.
Or Etheria. And if the attempt fails, your entire farming session gets terminated, instead of just being counted as a fail and continuing with the rest of the runs. Reverse 1999 avoids this by making the playback a carbon copy of how your original attempt went. Not only can you refine it if you took less turns in future runs, regardless of how much stamina you spent up to 4 times, the playback only happens once. I understand there's probably ways that you can reduce the chance of failure, except I just don't get why this has to be an issue when it's not in Reverse 1999. It's in a way giving you the chance to just go AFK, except that it's possible the farming attempt fails, and you'll have to babysit it. The time-gated resource stage,
like I said, it's like, okay, it would be good if you're playing multiple gachas at a time. Like because then you Arknights basically become one of the gachas you don't really like, a passive gacha, right? Just go auto that. If you'll see that, like, if you lose or not, and then you go and play another game while you grind in that other game, you can go and then look back at it and see, like, oh, is it doing good? Oh, looks like I'm about to fail here. Swoop, boop, 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 boop. And then, restart it again, because once you take over, you got to restart the auto, and then, like, yeah, like, it's basically a passive. It turns to a passive game at that point.
Stages is also something I just don't like, and I think it makes perfect.
Not a fully passive game where you're like. Excuse me, like you know, like I said, you can just go, like, in Etheria or Epic 7, you go start the thing, let it auto, and then while that's autoing itself, you can go do something else in the game, like, I don't know, a different stage to go get some more levels for something else or whatever.
Perfect sense to just remove this barrier. If I want to farm Vanguard skill chips on a Friday, just let me. Another minor nitpick is that if you're missing a specific material for an upgrade, the game will tell you where you can farm it. In Reverse 1999, whether you craft the material or farmed it in the level, there'll be a small button to letting you go back to whatever character you were upgrading. It's a seamless transition to make it a better experience. However, in Arknights, no
I kind of want to download Reverse 99 to see, like, if it's actually good or not, but, like, it's
such thing, at least not yet. You have to either go back through the menus or use the quick navigate to your roster, then find the operative you are working on. This is certainly a small thing to comb over, but these small things can add up. In my eyes, Arknights came up with the foundation, Reverse 1999 refined it. In other words, I think Arknights still lacks some quality of life, which I didn't expect since the game is over 5 years old. Overall,
I can expect it. Look at Genshin. That's about 5 years old as well, and we see what happens there. We see what the hell happened there. They some of the stuff they still don't have quality on.
Do like many aspects of Arknights, and I would firmly place it on the upper echelon of gacha games. I like that the story content gets gradually challenging to encourage skill expression. I like how diverse the classes feel to play, as they actually serve their own dedicated purpose, rather than just being a slight variation as a damage dealer. I like how 3 starring levels gives the premium currency needed to buy the skins, meaning it's technically possible to get a good chunk of all the cosmetics for free. I like how expansive the world is, with loads of side content to go through, with some of its writing praised even by AAA developers. I overall like just how distinct its designs and actually encourage you to think where to go with your team roster.
Guys, one day I gotta beat Baldur's Gate.
However, I'm not sure if I see a scenario where this becomes one of my ongoing games, but I will be paying close attention to the story. Luckily, Infield is not a tower defense, so when that comes out, I'll be sure to give that a fair shot too.
Oh man, I can't wait for Infield to drop. Whew. Be on that every day. You heard.
Anyways, that
is
goes
it supposed to drop soon though? Is it info supposed to drop like really soon?
it for my experience of Arknights. Let me know what you think of my analysis.
Like at
If
least
you want to
within,
catch more
like,
gacha
that
related
shit?
content, you know what to do. If you wish to go the extra mile, you can support for what I do for as little as $2 a month on Patreon. As always, thank you for watching, spend moderately, and have fun out there.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a good video from Psych. I'm pretty sure it's Psych, right? Yeah, Psych, whatever. That was actually, bro. I would never understand why this face is out like all and stuff. But like, I ain't gonna lie though. W video. I love it. Make sure you go subscribe down in the comment section down below. I'm talking. Oh, I'm also making this a video. So by the way, I'm doing this while live. Make sure you guys on the video subscribe, like, comment to his stuff and also mine. But anyway, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.